Linda Pedersen.
Hello. What a event it has been to get here.
How's the weather outside? Is it bad?
It's nasty.
Is it really? Because when I was left today, it was coming down in buckets. And, well, you know, I don't think we need to fill people in here, Linda. Because we were on the adventure of a lifetime yesterday.
Yes, we
and
were.
You have struck gold. So take us through this. Linda and I, if you guys know, we're going to take you to Food for Thought, the tape segment that we did in just a little bit. But just previewing this, we were trying to find a location for filming some stuff. And, you know, we had some luck sometimes, and it was time to kind of find that permanent home. And I think we did.
Well, I feel like I struck gold.
I do, too.
I do.
Ford Hotel Supply is the name of the company, right?
Oh, man, how awesome they were to us.
Nicest people, but the cool thing is they have the largest showroom in the Midwest when it comes to this.
Everything you need in a restaurant or a kitchen facility, schools, hospitals, whatever it may be, they have it there. And they have the expertise.
And that's the cool thing. It is filled to the brim of great materials and great instruments that you guys really need to take a look at, because those thermometers, we'll get into that in a second.
I want one.
Good night. Yeah. That's what we need.
Yeah. And here's the other thing about this company. It's a fourth generation. Well, how awesome can that be? They don't happen very often. And then, of course, I like to tout female-owned.
Yes.
Because I am female-owned, and I have been even with my chemical company for 30 years. So, you know, us gals like to stick together a little bit here. So,
and I
Christy, hi.
And Christy, really, the just the camaraderie and just that support they provided us, because we had to adapt on the fly a little bit. Listen, I got to preview this the right way for us.
Okay.
I had all this equipment. I was prepared. I thought coming out with all these boxes of stuff, we're going to blow Ford Hotel Supply away.
Yeah.
And then I forgot one cord.
And your apron.
And my apron. But you'll see that a little. And that's why Ford Hotel Supply is so good, because they had an apron on a mannequin. I said, hey, can I borrow that apron?
But you didn't borrow the wig.
I didn't. Next time.
Next time.
So take us through this, Linda. So thermometers are really important. And you're going at home going, you know, come on, CJ, you're trying to sell us something. I'm not. No. Because if these aren't calibrated right, we don't get that right temperature check, we could lead to some really nasty things coming our way.
You're not a safe kitchen unless you have thermometers. From the get-go, when you check in the food from your supplier, right? It's so important. And through the flow of food, you've got those thermometers to make sure you're going in the right direction. So it's very important. And not just in a commercial kitchen, at home. People should tend to their own self.
Well, what I thought was so fascinating, you guys will see in a little bit with Michael Lapage, who was awesome. And, you know, he's, you know, talking. I didn't realize that, you know, every time that you bump your, you know, normal thermometer, it's time to calibrate it, because it's going to be off a few degrees. I did not know that.
People don't do that often enough.
No.
And obviously, I'm going to pay more attention to that in my teachings, my class. Very important. Chef Michael Lapage, he represents a company that makes equipment and thermometers, as you will see in the video. He knows his stuff very well.
He does.
And then, you know, once again, let me mention Michelle.
Oh,
Schulke.
She was awesome.
Oh, yeah, she was right in the middle filming us. And then Nancy.
Oh,
Crazy
she was fun.
Nancy.
But you will see, Nancy was a big help.
Did she...
She came right in with that ice bucket of water, because and a good thing to know before we even take you to it, ice water is going to be at 32 degrees, correct?
Yes, count on it.
Well, Nancy was she was fun helping us with that.
So we had a hell of a crew there.
Yeah, we did.
And we missed Aaron, he'd already left. Yeah. And then Charlie. Charlie is right. I want him on my podcast, Charlie. Hear that, Charlie?
Charlie, where are you, Charlie? We need you. But no, and I really, to me, you know, we've been doing this, and you took a chance with me. You know, you took a chance to say, CJ, I'm going to listen to your crazy ass, and let's talk food safety once a month, and I appreciate it. But yesterday, I think, Linda, we struck gold, and I think that we're off to the races now.
Yes, what a perfect place. And I'll make a plug for our next podcast.
Yes.
We're going to do allergens over there.
And
dealing with the purple everything, right? Mm-hmm. Everything dealing with allergen. And it's so important that we do. People with allergens understand this more than the others, right?
Yes.
So that will be next month. So stay tuned and wear your purple.
Hey, you're already segueing it. Look at that. That is a nice top. But with this, I think what this segment is to me is something that's just not only for the commercial kitchens out there. We really have something for everybody because you guys are cooking for families. Easter's coming up, and you're going to be having ham and turkeys and all of these. And I get scared when I try somebody's ham for the first time because pork's dangerous. I don't know if they cooked at the right temperature, if it's in that danger zone.
Yeah.
And if you have your thermometer calibrated or you use some of this great equipment that Linda can connect you with Michael and get you in touch with. I mean, that's what's important.
Yes, it is.
And now you do a great job in your class. I want to highlight of talking thermometers anyway, because I'm not going to lie. When we first started, we went right into thermometers. It seemed like about an hour in, we were talking, and I went, just me thinking common sense, or just in my brain, I'm going, well, why do we need to talk about thermometers this much? And then it took 5 minutes for you to go, now, if this is not calibrated right, you're you're in the danger zone and you don't even know it. And all of a sudden you're serving some potentially dangerous materials to your clients, your family. All of a sudden my eyes went out of my head almost. It was like, wow, this is crucial.
Yes, it is. There's 300,000 deaths a year dealing with food safety.
Is there really?
And we got to have our thermometers.
Yeah.
And calibrated. I'm going to pay even a little more close attention to this in my classes. But it's not hard to do. It's easy to do, as you will see from the video coming up. Michael did a wonderful job.
Michael, I'm talking to you right here. I'm looking at you right in the camera. You made this so easy. I just had to sit there and stand and watch. It was like the easiest time.
I know. I felt that way too.
Well, I got to ask you, Linda, how have the thermometers, the devices changed in style over the years? Because we're going to take you through some pretty advanced thermometers.
Well, yeah, we've got all the waterproof stuff. And there's a lot of neat things. And the HACCP one really interested me.
Oh, that's really important.
Yeah.
To me, Michael said it. That could save you tens of thousands of dollars in food.
Oh, with the one that had dealing with the cold food.
Yes.
And if it goes out, it will give you a beep in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, you save a whole, what's the word? Walk-in.
Yeah.
Walk-in full of food. Thousands of dollars.
And I never knew that. I mean, I had no idea about some of this equipment, so I think you guys are going to be very surprised here when we bring you over to Ford Hotel Supply. Linda, what are your thoughts just overall of a Ford Hotel and a supply company and the fact that, we have this segment about thermometers and next month allergens? I think we're going to have some good stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And there's more order refrigeration. There's all the food safety things that we need to know for the commercial kitchen and then also for the home.
Yep.
So we're very fortunate. I'm glad to team up with this company. Ford Hotel Supply, been around since 1911.
That's incredible.
Yes, it is.
And I want to point out that if you guys want more information or to be a part of Linda's awesome newsletter, safefoodspecialist.com, sign up for it. And when are your upcoming classes? Can you share that with us?
Well, I'm going out of town this week to a private class in Rock Falls, Illinois.
You are traveling.
Oh, yes. I just came back from Effingham, had a class in Altamont, right outside of Effingham.
How was it?
Class of 32. My new assistant, Megan, was there.
We're going to meet
Hilsman.
Megan soon.
She's listening to us right now.
Hey, Megan.
Hi, Megan. And then I'm coming back for a few days, going to Decatur to Pop's Place, having a class. Coming back March 20th, Johnson's Corner. March 27th, DJ's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville.
I've heard nothing but good things of DJs, too.
Oh, yes, they do a nice job. And then I'm back in Springfield April 3rd at Curve Inn. And ILBA, Illinois Beverage Association, has been very instrumental in helping me secure class locations and having participation. So
I still want to be a part of that golf tournament.
Oh, yes. Coming up June. So
that's so cool. And Linda, you're really, you're kicking ass. I mean, and you have a great, it seems like you have a community of, support with the restaurant business because they know that what you're teaching is really, really some of the best material and being taught by one of the best in the area, if I do say so myself.
That very much. I try. It's a passion now of my life, as you can see, and now with the podcast and my newsletter and the website. You know, I feel like this old gal's kicking ass and taking names.
And you are, and we're kicking ass and taking names the first Friday of every month with Food for Thought at 10:35 is the normal time. But we went a little longer with Chef Michael, but there was so much good information.
Yes, there was.
And we just couldn't stop having fun.
I know. It was fun.
It was. And we're going to take it, if it's okay, should we take them to it now?
Let's go.
We'll take a quick break, and then we'll take you to Ford Hotel Supply. Our Food for Thought segment continues on the road next.
Don't need money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's
Hi, welcome to Food for Thought. We are here today at Ford Hotel Supply Company, which has been around since what, 1911. Yes, I remember this place when I was a little girl, and here we are. I'm so excited. And today with us, we have Chef Michael Lapage.
Hello.
Hi. And he's going to teach us a lot about thermometers, all different kinds, digital, bimetallic stem.
Did I miss something?
A whole bunch.
What happened to you?
Well, I was just, I kind of got a little shuffle in translation here. Michael, it's been a hell of a day. But, we're traveling over here, and I didn't know where to look, but thank goodness Ford Hotel Supply has everything, literally everything. Just pop this off a mannequin, but left the wig at home. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How about yourself?
It's nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
And this is really cool. So you're actually a big, knowledgeable guy over a lot of instruments involving the food industry.
I try to be as best as possible for our customers. Yes.
That's awesome. So when did you start your career in the industry?
So I started cooking when I was 13 years old in restaurants in New Jersey, full time, 40 hours a week, and then went to college, got 2 degrees. From there, graduated, and then traveled all over. Owned a company, a small catering company in the middle of all of that. And wound up in St. Louis. My beautiful wife brought us here, so that was awesome.
Well, thank you to Michael's wife, because we like Michael.
And so I've been doing this, in my position now for about 7 years. So in total, I'm 38, minus 13, what's that, 25 years total in food service.
Linda, I ain't good at math, you got to do it.
Yeah. We can edit that out.
Yeah, we'll just fix it in post. But the cool thing is, just to get some insight, some real knowledge on the instruments we cook with, because, even us at home, are we really using the proper equipment? Are we doing it the right way? Are we keeping us safe? Linda, take it over.
Well, this is the man that knows a lot. I teach about the thermometers in my classes, but Michael's an expert. He represents a couple companies. You'll see some of them back here with the equipment that he has, but today we're talking about thermometers.
Correct, yeah.
So we're going to start out with, of course, everyone knows the bimetallic stem,
Yeah, I would say the most simplest version of a thermometer, right?
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Yes,
Okay.
This is the one you'll find almost anywhere in any kitchen, generally in a stainless steel drawer along with all the other utensils getting knocked around.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what many people don't know, when that happens, it loses calibration and how to calibrate and do all different kinds of stuff with it. But this is the simplest version of a thermometer. Uses a coil on the inside, has a little dimple about a third of the way up. So what this does is takes temperature of any protein or anything you're wanting temperature of. But the issue with this is the accuracy can be off a little bit depending on how much it gets banged around, how much you drop it, or whatever, normal stuff happens in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So you have to really be mindful of calibrating these on a regular basis. In my kitchens, we used to do about once a week recalibration.
Once a week. I teach the classes, right? And it says that whenever you drop it, whenever you, wait a minute, dropping it. What are we going to do? We dropped our thermometers.
So now we're going to recalibrate it. So
I love it. We're getting learned how.
Yeah.
Let me bring it in here.
Let's get out of the way. Let the real celebrities in here.
And so all we need is ice water? Is that
Correct.
right,
Yeah.
Jeff?
So there's a few ways to calibrate. The most consistent and best way is using heavily iced cold water. There is another approved with boiling water. However, elevation does affect that. So elevation doesn't affect temperature of cold water as much as it does for boiling. So we want to calibrate in ice cold water. So most thermometers, analog thermometers like this, come with a stem case and has a little hook on top. That's good for many things. The best thing is for it to be calibrated. So you put the thermometer in there. I usually let it sit about a minute, minute and a half or so. We'll stir it around just a little bit to make sure we're getting full access to all the cold water. And then we just wait for the needle to stop moving on the dial. What we're looking for is
32 degrees.
32 degrees. So we're looking for a strong 32 degrees, a steady 32 degrees. Now, to change these thermometers, if they are not calibrated, if it is reading maybe 40 degrees or 20 degrees, however, whatever temperature it is, some have a little nut on the bottom. We have one right there as an example. This version actually has a little twist that you can do with your hand, so you don't need a special tool.
Yeah.
A lot of times the little nut wrench is on the sleeve. That can get lost, and if you don't have that, it's kind of hard to calibrate and move the needle where it needs to be. So for this, we just simply use our hands.
That's awesome. I mean, this is perfect for everyone at home. I mean, listen, I've seen your kitchen drawers, problem areas. So recalibrate. I mean, this is a great way to learn. So is this kind of a universal rule for these type of thermometers?
Absolutely, yes.
Really
For these
cool.
types, we call them analog thermometers, or the
Bimetallic stem.
bimetallic stem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now we're reading right about 26 degrees, so we're going to need to calibrate that, because even though it is ice water and it's cold, it should not be below the
32 degrees. It will stay constant 32 degrees if you got ice and water,
Yes.
for sure.
That's really cool. So how do you recalibrate this?
Yeah, so the simplest thing to do is you see it at 20, we'll say 25 or so.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, like I said, all you have to do is there's a little
Take that.
grip
Yeah.
right there. You twist it, and you twist it to where it goes to 32. And you're just manually pushing it to 32. And then we'll double check the calibration, make
How
sure once it's still in the ice, it's not moving, and you can
See,
confirm.
it is
right at
32 degrees.
Collect yourself. That's how simple.
I got
It is
into an
very
argument
simple.
on Thanksgiving because of this with my grandma. I didn't know that was
Don't
down
argue
there.
with your grandma.
I got a real argument. You know, you just said it. You can't do it that. Grandma, you were right.
Some people argue about politics at Thanksgiving. We argue about thermometers and calibration.
You know, potato, potato. So where are we at here now?
Yep, we're right at 32.
So that
Take a look.
so easy to do.
Very easy.
Not
Just a
done
minute.
enough, right?
Yep.
We need to do it more in our restaurants and at home.
Exactly, and a lot of people think a process like this takes a long time. It's a minute, really. That's all it takes, a minute and a half maybe, to ensure your food is safely being prepared for your customers, or if you're at home, for your family.
Yeah.
You don't want to get your family sick or yourself sick. So
That's awesome. So we have this thermometer, which we all know, and this is something that we all have in our kitchen drawers, but there's some really cool and innovative thermometers I've never even heard of. So
yes.
as I always do on my show, the floor is yours, Senators. Please take it away and show us all these really cool things.
Sure. So we'll start with, again, continuing with pocket thermometer styles. This is another version of an analog pocket thermometer. This one has a nut on the bottom to calibrate and the wrench on the stem itself. So just a different version, a different company than the.
That's
than
a
this
wrench.
one.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So that'll slide all the way up.
Why just put it out and had it hold? That's
I
the
didn't
wrench.
realize that.
Well, isn't that cool?
There you go. And then we'll get into kind of the more digital, which is a little bit more expensive, but way more accurate, still calibratable. These are two versions. One's, I call this a stick one or a wide top one. I don't know what the technical terms are, but chefs call them whatever you want to call them, as long as they work.
Linda, Michael, are the digital ones the ones we see more times in that commercial kitchen than those?
Yes. So
Okay.
a lot of times you'll still have these around the kitchen for your general temperature, like in your prep area, like I said, in the drawer.
Right.
But line cook chefs will have generally a digital style
cool.
thermometer.
With the sleeve where you put
Yep.
it in there all the
In
time.
the sleeve. That's
Right
why
there.
one of these slots are here. So that fits there
That's
really
cool.
well. I'll get rid of my marker, and that one will fit there. And now I'm set to take any temperature I ever needed. Right.
That is super cool.
And this one might fit in there too, so we could put that one in there just in case.
You got to add
A backup,
accessories here.
right? A backup on a backup.
Always back.
So these digital ones are great. They usually have a larger temperature range as well. Probably negative 20 to 300 degrees, whereas an analog will only really go up to, this one goes up to 220, and it goes to 0 to 220. So you have a little bit more range with a digital thermometer. Still calibratable.
That's a catch and a half. We don't have to calibrate that
That's
one.
one. This one's not even calibrated. But the good thing about some of these is they have rubber tops on them. So if they do get banged around, there's a little bit of cushion for them so they don't get damaged.
That's
So
awesome.
they think of everything, these people. And then, this is just a stick, a traditional stick digital thermometer where you can take the cover off and then extend it. So if you're reaching into something very hot, you can not burn your hand off, which is good.
Wise.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Very
Good
wise.
point.
You know, and the general big difference between these types of thermometers are the tips are a little bit different. So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, if you could hold those up a little bit, because I've noticed here that's a little bit thicker and rounder.
Correct.
We get finer as we go a little bit further down.
Absolutely. So because these two are pretty much the same type of tip thermometer. I mentioned earlier there's a dimple on this analog. All the analogs have a dimple, and what that dimple does is it's a mark where you have to put that the thermometer into food up to that dimple.
Mhm.
And what that does is it takes an average temperature from the tip to the dimple. So if you don't put it all the way in, that dimple all the way into the thickest part, you're not getting it as accurate as a temperature reading. So,
I would have never.
So
known
you
that,
need
seriously.
a thick piece of meat to do that.
correct. Or you need
Right.
to go in a long ways. If it's like a chicken breast like this, you don't want to go in this way. You generally go in through the side so you get a more accurate reading in
Right.
the thickest part of the product.
I only know that from Linda's class because that's one of the questions and one of the things we went over about thermometer and temperature checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so with these new digital thermometers, you'll see the tip gets a little bit thinner. And what that does is it's a smaller area, but it's a more accurate area. So even if you're not, that whole area is not in the thickest part, the average is much more accurate than a dimple one. So,
Yeah.
they even have thermometers where it takes it just at the tip. Those generally will be your more expensive thermometers. You know, they're $20, $30 pocket thermometers. Not many chefs and kitchens are wanting to spend that much money on a thermometer
Right,
like that.
yeah, right.
So these are the great kind of middle ground, very inexpensive, but very, very accurate, more accurate than.
I need one of
digital.
those for my class for
Exactly.
instruction. Yeah.
That is
You can have this one when we're done with it. How about
Oh,
a little gift for
look
you?
at that! The Daily Show keeps delivering thermometers and a podcast.
So we have all different kinds of pocket thermometers, and each company has their own. There's tons of companies out there. You know, I rep a certain brand, the blue ones, but there's Cooper Atkins, Comark, Taylor. There's all different kinds of brands out there. Again,
Yeah.
it's not so much about the brand; it's about how well you take care of the product itself.
That makes sense.
Thermometer.
I got to ask you because I'm nosy here,
Yeah.
Michael. I'm looking at this dishwasher plate thermometer.
Yeah.
And to me, I think of it almost like I'm weighing out some protein or some type of,
Yeah.
you know,
Looks like a
material.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really a unique product. We're going to move this. I don't want to take
Yeah.
any more space of that.
Oh, here, we got to help her, Linda.
We got to help her.
Come on through.
Miss
It's okay.
Nancy.
We're having fun here. That's what it's about. Nancy's saving the day.
Nancy.
So a dishwasher plate thermometers, there's different versions of a dishwasher thermometer. This is considered a plate thermometer. They call it that because it looks like a plate. It's
Yeah.
flat like a plate. And you can put it into a plate or a peg dish rack to run it through your dish machine. What this does is it takes temperatures of your dishwasher during the wash cycle and the rinse cycle.
Okay.
So if you're using a high temp dishwasher, your rinse cycle has to be over 180 degrees. If you're using a chemical sanitizing, it doesn't have to be that high, but you should still manage your temperature system, especially during the wash cycle.
Yes.
So many different companies have versions of this. Some actually look very similar to this, where you can just put this type of thermometer in and it's waterproof and it'll record, or you can put this directly into a dishwasher rack, run it through the machine for a full cycle,
That's
and
cool.
it'll record the temperature.
Like I tell them in my class, even though it has a dial on the side of the dishwasher and it
Mhm.
says 180 degrees, that may not be true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is a way we can check it out. And I tell my people that if they don't do it, the health inspector doesn't write up the dishwasher salesman
Yeah.
or repairman, still writes you up because you didn't check on their work and make sure that it is correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
and you know, in kind of a comparison, you know, this is generally for a food product. We're temping water of a dishwasher here, and you're wondering, well, why does it matter if a dishwasher is at temperature?
Linda knows the answer to that question.
Why? And it's a very simple question, and it does
It
matter.
sanitizes.
Yeah, it sanitizes. So if you're preparing raw chicken breast on a sheet tray, and you're running it through your dish machine to wash, and it's not coming up to temp, there could still be live bacteria on that sheet tray of raw bacteria that you just had. So it's a very simple reason. A lot of people just don't realize how important it can be.
Yes,
Absolutely.
they usually do.
And then they also sell different
Holders.
brackets, holders for the plate thermometer.
And so I'm noticing here, I mean, this is kind of similar. It's a waterproof digital. Is that
Correct.
kind of the same as what we're talking about over here?
Yeah, so some of these are not waterproof. Like this is not waterproof.
Okay.
You generally don't put your analog one in waterproof. So
Yeah.
the waterproof ones can be used as like another way to temperature monitor your dishwasher.
Oh, good. Run that through
or-
the dishwasher.
Yeah, you can run this through the dishwasher. The other great reason is if you're preparing food, cutting lettuce up, and you have your thermometer, and it falls into the sink that you're washing your lettuce in, you're not losing out on a thermometer. So multiple reasons why it's a good tool to have in the kitchen. Some are waterproof, some are not. Just make sure if you're looking for a waterproof thermometer, you check the label and check the manufacturer of it.
Now, Linda, I got to ask you real quick. Have you ever heard of a battery pack or a microphone pack? You know, you see some of the TV people wear them, baby. I am looking at this device right over here, and I know I keep throwing. I'm just like a little kid over at the store. You know, I'm like, Mom, look, $2. But this is something fantastic. So is this a part of thermometer? Because I'm thinking I put it up here and start talking.
It's a thermometer, wrong placement.
Well, take us through this one.
Sure.
I'll get out of the way.
Yeah, so what's becoming very popular nowadays, for many reasons, is a Wi-Fi thermometer system. So what a Wi-Fi thermometer system is, these are generally used in your coolers, your regions, your freezers. You can even, depending on the temperature range, use them in hot holding capacity, things like that, to make sure your hot holding cabinet is holding to temperature well. So this is all Wi-Fi driven. You put the probe where you want it to go. This will hang out on the outside, so it's just kind of like a belt clip, like you were mentioning, that you could just clip onto the wall. And the great things about this is it's used as a great preventative maintenance issue. It's used great as a if you're part of a healthcare system, you can monitor your temperatures 24 hours a day. So this system in particular, this is the Comark Diligence Wi-Fi system. It uses your building's Wi-Fi. It doesn't have special Wi-Fi. It monitors all your temperatures. We have humidity controlled ones. We actually have humidity and temperature controlled ones in operating rooms in hospitals. Because they need to have those monitored. And what it does, it's very simple. It takes the human error or the human neglect out of taking temperatures of coolers. We go into a lot of healthcare facilities and they have to monitor all their temperatures of their coolers, and it's usually a clipboard, hung next to the walk-in, and somebody's scribbling numbers in there. It's not legible.
If they even do that.
If they even do it, it's not legible, and you have to maintain all those records when you're in a healthcare facility, generally for 7 to 10 years. You have to keep records of that. And so that's a lot of paper, that's a lot of environmental waste, that's a lot of management. What this system does is it does the exact same thing without the humans. So you can set the system up to take a temperature every minute, every 5 minutes, every hour, however you want. If anything comes out of temperature, it'll send you a text message, an email, or set off an audible alarm in the kitchen. You can set delivery times. So if you're getting deliveries on Tuesday from 10 to 11, generally your cooler door is going to be open a little bit longer. You might go out of temperature range for a couple minutes. You can set it to have that set in there where it won't set off an alarm and it won't send off text and messages.
That sounds like a valuable piece of.
That's what I was thinking.
A piece like this is very, very inexpensive. Considering how much it can do. Really? You have to pay for data storage in the cloud because you pull up a dashboard.
We do that all the time. Right?
Exactly. You pull up a dashboard. So if somebody says, health inspector comes in and says, I want your walk-in records from January 22nd. You could pull up on the dashboard January 22nd and have all the records of every temperature that was taken. So you have to pay for data storage. But when I sell this to customers, or I mention it to customers, I say, how much food money do you have in your freezer right now? $5,000-$6,000.
Yeah.
This costs a lot less. If that cooler goes down once, you're out $5,000 or $6,000 immediately, like that. Or you can spend a couple $100s on this, get a text message in the middle of the night, have it fixed right away, and not lose any product.
That is crucial.
Yes.
I mean, that really is crucial.
Yeah. So when you put it in terms of that, nobody wants to lose a walk-in full of food. Nobody wants to lose a freezer full of food. Food costs are going up right now as we speak. So you want to keep that cost as limited as possible.
Yes.
So we have great tools for that. Again, we have temperature monitoring, humidity monitoring. For pharmaceuticals, we have glycol monitoring as well. So to be used in pharmacies, different temperature ranges from the standard temperature to 300 or to negative 180 degrees for different vaccines, like the COVID vaccine has to be stored at a certain temperature, and other vaccines as well. So we have all the monitoring systems for that. Many companies have similar systems to ours. I'm an expert in this one, not in theirs, but it's very similar. They all do very similar items.
And Linda, real quick, just because we're on the topic of the thermometers, I mean, I just took your class, and that was a big portion of it was because, it's a pretty crucial piece of equipment. If you aren't temperature Can you
gotta-
take us through that?
You got to have thermometers in your kitchen.
Absolutely.
That's number one. Of course, a chef wants a good knife, but everybody's got to have a thermometer.
Yeah.
Right.
To check in the foods when you receive it.
Yes.
You know, from your supplier. Have our thermometers. We got an array of ones.
Yeah.
There's one here.
This is the one that very much is intriguing. Linda.
Intrigues me, and I'm going to learn. I'm going to take a HACCP course here
Yeah.
in May. So this will be on my list.
Yeah. So again, with this brand Comark, we provide all different kinds of temperature monitoring systems, temperature maintenance systems. This one just happens to be a HACCP system. So HACCP is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. It's a multiple point system if for some reason you receive food at a bad temperature and all the corrective steps that happen. That's a very simplistic version of putting it.
Yeah.
It's a big topic. A lot of healthcare facilities use it. A lot of schools use it, where maybe the diners or the people eating the food are at a little bit higher risk of getting sick, as well as mass production food facilities use a HACCP plan. So we have a couple different probes. So this is what a probe is called. This is just a standard temperature probe right here, similar to our digital one, but it's connected into this box, similar to our Wi-Fi system. So what this box does is you pre-program it with products that you receive. So if your menu is set, you can have your products say chicken breast, salmon, things like that. On here, you click the item you're taking the temperature of, stick the probe in, it reads the temperature. If it's out of temp, it'll alarm it. This is also driven by Wi-Fi, so you can put it on a dashboard. And then it'll force you to make corrective measures on the product. So do you recook it? Do you throw it away? Do you cool down, then reheat to proper temperature? Whatever the critical point of that is, you can do. So this is for taking temperatures during the prep area, the cooking area, and the finished product. But receiving, like you had mentioned, receiving is a whole nother game.
Oh, yeah.
So when you receive product,
I like this one.
yeah, when you receive product, there's certain things you can do and can't do. For example, if you're getting pork butts in, they're usually vacuum sealed, cryovac, and they're done that way for safety. So you can't poke something sharp, sharp in there to take the temperature. So what we came up with, and many, like I said, many companies have it, is kind of like a wand. So same thing, it connects into your HACCP base, and then you can just put the product on there and get an accurate temperature.
Now, do you touch it to it or hover over it?
No, you touch it right to it.
Okay.
It's a contact temperature.
Okay.
So you push it right on there. It'll read it, and then if there's anything corrective that needs to happen, you can do that. What's funny is we were talking before this. You've told people to just put two in between and put the thermometer.
Yeah,
in.
that's what
And that's what people do, and that's one way of doing it. This is just
this way.
a little bit more accurate way. Absolutely. So this will take surface temperature and won't take internal temperature. However, if surface temperature is off, there's a good chance internal temperature could be off as well. And it's worth, and if especially if surface temperature is off, it's worth looking at internal temperature at that point as a corrective measure.
Wow.
So that is an overview, a 10,000 foot overview of thermometers.
Very nice array.
Yeah.
And people should have these things in their commercial kitchen, right?
Mhm.
And some of this at home.
Absolutely.
You know, we got to keep our family safe and our friends safe. And if you don't have a thermometer, you're not doing things properly.
Correct.
And
Can
you
I-
could get somebody sick.
Can I add one thing? I mean, I'm just thinking of this in a different facet because of my family doing family reunions, all these people and all this massive amounts of food coming in. It's like a little restaurant that day.
Yeah.
And if we're receiving all these frozen goods, it's good to know that there's a device out there. I mean, it might be too expensive for us to use for that one time.
Yeah.
But even just to reach out and say, hey, can we check this before we start cooking it, before we pay for all this product, especially if you get processed meat too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really cool stuff,
Yeah.
Linda and Michael. This is awesome.
Very important. And I really appreciate you here today
it's my pleasure.
to
Absolutely.
explain this. All of these different
It's a
products.
simple tool that's extremely important.
Very important.
A simple tool that's very important to a kitchen.
And you'll find out how important when you take Linda's class, Safe Food Specialist. You were all over the place, Linda. You just came back from Effingham.
I was in Effingham, yes. I'm going to go to Rock Falls next week.
Wow.
And then I'm going to Decatur the following week. And so, I'm moving all around.
Goodness.
That's
And,
good.
Putting on the miles.
I am. But you know what? I get to meet so many people. And they
Yeah.
really, they're in my class. I know that some of them have to be there. But they really do want to learn.
Mhm.
They want to learn. And what they get upset about is that they can't find out what they missed.
Mhm.
Yep.
The ANZA won't allow that, and I hate that because when they miss a question, that's how you learn, finding out the right answer.
Absolutely, yeah.
So at least I know they're interested and they want to take it. But yes, I do have a class coming up March 20th at Johnson's Corner,
My favorite place.
or March 27th at DJ's in Jerseyville. So look at my website, Safe Food Specialist, and you can see the different times and locations that I'm at. But from now on, our podcast, we have a new home.
How beautiful is it? I'm excited. I cared about this. I love thermometers, but walking in here, it is just breathtaking.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a candy store for a cook.
Yeah.
You go, there's so many neat things
Yes.
here that you want. I want one of those and one of those. So yeah, there's different things we can show here besides just thermometers. We're going to talk about allergens.
Ooh, big one.
Big one. And the purple container and the purple utensils.
Yeah.
So that's what's coming up. But today was a wonderful demonstration on our thermometers.
Michael, thank you so much
Oh, it's
for
my
hanging out with
pleasure,
us.
yeah.
We have to get you back sometime soon.
Sure,
Because
yeah,
this is
anytime.
too good. You were
Anytime.
awesome. And I
Yeah.
want to thank Ford Hotel Supply because you guys were so gracious to us. The staff welcomed us in with open arms. Linda, we couldn't be more happy to be right
Lucky.
here.
That's why they call me Lucky Linda. Right?
We'll be back to wrap up our daily show and our week right here in the heart of the Riverbend, but we'll be back in studio after a quick break.